Hey guys, it's currently Thursday, and if you missed the last vlog, we built a big canvas. It's huge. It's 5 feet tall, 4 feet wide. And I was in the process of coating it with gesso. I didn't even get through one coat before I ran out of gesso. I've left it upside down overnight, so I think there's a little bit more, but I need to go to the art store. And I might as well grab some paint while I'm there. I was gonna use up what I have before buying new stuff, but just based on how much gouache I went through already, I feel like I'm gonna go through paint in no time, so I think I just need to buy some right off the bat. I'm gonna be starting with acrylic and then doing oil on top, so I need both paints. And I'm thinking of just picking up primaries for each and a white. And I'll grab a couple Copic refills while I'm there. I still need B00 and I'm also out of G16. There are probably more I could get, but I don't know. I'm not gonna know until I start coloring it. I'm like, this is dead. So I'll just go for those two. I also still want small metal palettes, like palette knives, sorry, for oil paints. Little, like the end of it being maybe an inch, just for mixing small amounts of oil. Not for this painting, obviously, but just in general. I don't know what this hair is doing. What is this? What is this? I've made it to the art store. Let's go in. There's the GAC, which I saw people using to prime their canvases. Ooh. Are these tubes gonna be big enough? They're all priced like $36 to $45 each. Well, they have new packaging now. Because the ones I have are like this. I would need these huge ones. Cadmium or Hansa. I think a cooler yellow. But should I just buy green? Because I'm going to be using so much green. I was going to mix, but cadmium red I would need. I'm just hesitant to buy blue because I don't think I'm going to need that much blue. This is tempting. Raw sienna for like the more golden hues. But again, I could mix that, right? I just don't know how much I'm going to need. No! Wait. Okay, I know titanium white. I know zinc white. Titanium zinc white? I think zinc is more transparent than titanium. Oh, I kind of regret not getting blue. I don't know. Because, like, I need a bit of blue to mix this. But I have some blue at home. I'm not going to get blue. If I need more blue, I'll come back. But, like, a lot of the blue was going to be used to mix green. And I'm buying green, so. So we're set for oils. Now I need acrylics. White. White is out everywhere. I mean, there's a big one. A tub. I think I'm going to do the same thing where I just grab green, but I'm also going to grab a small blue. Wait, what's the transparency? Opaque. Opaque. Okay, good. Opaque. Okay. For crying out loud, still no B00. I'm gonna have to order that online. This is very empty, holy. What about G16? It's there. Well, I basically got everything I wanted other than the B00 refill, but I did... But I did get it as a Chow marker. They were out of it in the sketch. Their refills and sketch markers were almost empty. There was hardly anything left, but the Chow section was stocked. So, B00 Chow. I'm just that desperate, okay? And I just can't justify paying shipping online for one B00 refill. So, the color that's haunted me for so many illustrations, we've got it again. And I got this nice fat brush. I'll do a haul when I get home. It's very hot in here. I gotta start the car. All of this stuff came to $314. And that is with all the paint being 20% off. So that's a little hefty. This is an expensive piece of art I'm making here. But hey, it's about the journey, okay? It's about the journey. Because yeah, I could just go buy something at Winners or HomeSense, whatever. But I'm making something myself for many times the price. Well, I finally made it home. I got a little lost because I thought I could just leave the same way I got there, but I couldn't because the road I came in on, it only lets you go north on the main road, not south. I was expecting it to split and be like, if you want to go south, go this way. You want to go north, this way. Now, it forced me north, and then I just went on a little adventure into unknown lands. I took the scenic route. By scenic, I mean an ugly industrial area, but I made it home. So let's go over what I bought. Here's everything. I'm gonna be honest, when I grabbed the gesso, like when the guy passed it to me, I didn't even look at the price sticker. $97.25. But this was the only big gesso they had, and the rest were just these little tiny tubes smaller than this. So I was like, I need this. I need it, but what the heck? Because I was looking at the price sticker for everything else. But for some reason, the most expensive thing, I didn't look. I just assumed it wasn't going to be expensive because it's gesso. So we got the acrylics. Opaque primary yellow, chrome green hue. Chrome. Okay. Cadmium red hue. Then the white tub. A small blue tub, opaque primary cyan. Hansa yellow light, cadmium green, cadmium red light, then the titanium zinc white. 3 of the small palettes. I was not saying anything in that aisle because there was somebody else in there. But yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. Little tiny ones, so I picked up 3. Then a big fat brush for laying down the initial layers of paint. And of course the Copics, the B00 Chow, and the G16 refill. That's the haul. That's the $300 haul. Oh, and the gesso was part of the 20% off at least. So I technically paid about $77. And just a refresher as to what the artwork is going to look like. It's roughly like this. I couldn't quite get it how I see it in my head in marker. Oranges, like reddish orange, green, a bunch of butterflies. This is essentially hair because it's based off the character Melania from Elden Ring, specifically Phase 2 Melania, where, you know. So it's not direct fan art per se. I mean, maybe it will be, I don't know. But it's mainly inspired by. It's not obvious that this is her. It just looks like waves and butterflies. And I want to keep it pretty loose. I'm going to try to not nitpick all the details. And I cannot believe that in the last vlog, which I just edited this morning, I measured the wall and I was like, okay, we're going to make the canvas 5.5 feet tall. And then I drew out my little schematic and made it 5 feet tall. But 5 feet's close enough, and I'm sure it'll still look great. It just would have been a little more taller, I guess, a little more rectangular. Because this does not have the same dimensions as what I have drawn here. But that's fine. We can adapt. Let's open this bad boy up. Do I need to peel this off? Do I just lift? Oh. Oh. That tab had nothing to do with it. Holy moly. Okay. How am I pouring this into my cup without spilling it? Here goes nothing. I can't. I gotta do a confident pour from above. Wait, stop, stop, stop! That was actually really good until it just would not stop. Don't even have my gloves on yet. That was a mistake. In fact, let's put them on now. Look how far we've come, my baby. Oh. Still the one that I love, the only one I dream of. Trying to get the main bit of it on the sponge to use it. One of these sponges is supposed to stay clean as my clean up sponge. But I'll just go grab another one. See, once my hands get dirty, I cannot touch the camera. So gotta be strategic about this. I'm making a right old mess. There's a lot of gesso on the floor. I do have some paper towel down underneath the painting, but some of it missed, some of it I stepped in. I completed the bottom as you saw, and then I got started on my second layer of gesso and did the whole thing. And I think I'm gonna do a third layer of just pure undiluted gesso. That's what I was using at the very end at the bottom. And I'm like, okay, I need a whole coat of this. So I am gonna do a third coat, but I'm gonna let this dry a little longer. I'm hoping my top edge is good. I just went at it without looking. Same with the bottom edge. Yeah, this is quite the process. By the time I get to the bottom, the top is mostly dry, so I don't have to wait too long to do the next coat. I'll just take a breather for like 10 or 15 minutes and then get back at it. And coat number 3 is finally done. It takes so long. And I spilt an obscene amount of gesso on the floor. I didn't even realize how badly I spilt here till it was too late, so that's obviously gone through. I thought maybe this is some type of pour spout. Oh Jesus, why did I touch that? Why did I touch that? I thought it might be some kind of pour spout. It's not! I do feel like it made things a little less messy, but it still just got everywhere. And yeah, there's splatters all over. But we got our 3 coats done. And the third coat definitely left a lot more texture than the other ones, but it's still a lot smoother than my past gesso attempts with a brush. Like, I still think the sponges were an improvement. So there it is. The top's already mostly dry. Just finished. I was doing the final swipes and Christian goes, "Supper's ready." And for the gesso tub, I've gone through about a third of it already. That's all I'll need. So I have a ton left over, but I'm still glad I went with the big tub over a smaller one. Oh my gosh, what did those gloves do to my hand? It's turning brainy. That's where art knowledge is stored. I'm gonna go eat and watch Survivor and probably just chill for the rest of the evening. I'm gonna let that dry overnight just so it's fully dry. Yes, baby. It's now Thursday, and before we get to the painting, I do need to pack up some orders. I just don't think I'm gonna pack them all right now because I just checked and there are 24 orders. Plus there's something I have to resend out, so I have 25 things to pack up. And if I do all that, I'm not gonna have time for the painting. But whatever I don't get done during the day, I'm just gonna do tonight because I do want those out by tomorrow because Canada Post is about to go on strike, and so I'm gonna send stuff through Chit Chats. They have until May 22nd to come to a deal, and it's not looking good. Even my Canada Post rep contacted me yesterday, being like, don't send anything. It's looking risky was the word he used. And I had already decided I wasn't sending anything else out because Monday was my last day to send stuff through Canada Post, and I'm now going to do Chit Chats till the end of the strike. There's no official strike yet, but it's looking like there is going to be one. So I have international shipping turned off on my website right now. I'm only shipping to Canada and the USA just because the international shipping rates through Chit Chats are so volatile. It's like sometimes not that expensive, but then if the package is a little bit heavier, the price skyrockets, and I can't eat that cost. If there was a way to make it so Chit Chat's rates would show at checkout, that would be nice, but there is no way. So customers are still going to be paying my Canada Post rates, even though I'm shipping through Chit Chats. And last time when I kept international shipping on, it was very pricey. It cost me a lot of money, so I had to turn it off this time. How long will it last? I don't know. This has been going on for over a year now with no deal. Is there even ever going to be a deal? And if not, then what happens? Then, of course, the volatility of the tariff situation in the US, specifically on items from China. I'm based in Canada, so you think, oh, it doesn't affect me, but it definitely does, because even though I'm Canadian, if an American orders from me, my product's country of origin still matters. So about half my products are made in China, and so you would still pay tariffs once the package is brought over to the US. Because you are the importer, you are importing a Chinese good into the US, therefore you owe the tariff. And that's so frustrating. It's just unfair how quickly these have been applied and how the number just keeps changing. At least now it's down to only 30%, but that's only for 90 days, which is just so sucky for the people who had to pay 145% on their shipments. I haven't heard of any of my customers having to pay anything. I don't know. No one has told me they've owed anything. But I've seen online a lot of other people having to pay these massive 145% tariffs, and now it's down to 30. So they essentially paid all that extra money for nothing. Make a plan and stick to it, and make it so it doesn't take effect for a year. You can't just spring this on people and small businesses who have long lead times for their products. Make a plan and give people a whole year to adapt, maybe shuffle around their supply chains. It's like every other day there's some kind of update, and it's like, all people can do is just wait and see what happens because it's changing all the time. You plan for one thing and then suddenly the next day it's different. Anyway, I'm gonna get to packing. I'm about to pull my hair out. First of all, I bought 3 packages using ShipStation by accident. So I bought Canada Post labels for them. So I voided the labels and I need to redo them in Chit Chats along with the rest of the packages. And I go to import all the US orders and it gives me this error saying my HS codes are not correct because they have to be 10 digits because they want HTS codes, which is the same thing. It's just a longer 10-digit version of the code. It's basically just got extra zeros at the end. As I've learned, I'm using the Chit Chats HTS search. They've got a little search function you can do to find the codes for each thing, and it's basically the same thing. I had to go through the items these people ordered, add the codes, and then I go to redo the import and I just get another error again saying the postage type I selected is not available. So all those HS codes I input, they got wiped. I spent so long on that. They're just gone. So I got to redo the imports, but I'm trying to figure out why it wasn't working. So I was like, let me import just one order. So I found an order that has only one item in it, edit the info, and it turns out the only postage option it's letting me select is Canada Post. But Canada Post is going on strike. There's supposed to be a Chit Chat's US Edge option, and it's just not there. And I'm trying to Google information, and it's like, oh, you might not see that option if your package is too big or too heavy, but mine fall way within the requirements of that. And so I'm just like, why is this option not showing up? So as of right now, I can't even use Chit Chats either. Okay, I called Chit Chats. And the reason is because if any item originates from China, that's what's blocking it. And the only option I should have is to go through USPS, but with duties prepaid. And I'm like, well, I'm not even seeing that option. And I input all the customs information, but I have to apparently input all the manufacturer information for each individual item. I have to put in the name and address of the manufacturer and some kind of ID number. Like, I don't know these addresses. Plus, even if I input that information, I will have to pay the duty myself right now when I buy the postage. So it's assuming I've already collected the duty in advance from my customers at checkout, but I haven't because I don't even know how to do that. Like, how is it gonna know how much to calculate? So right now my only option is possibly just to buy UPS labels in ShipStation and bring them all to UPS, but they are gonna cost twice as much, more than double the cost actually. Okay, I'm trying to buy a UPS label. I've had this $25 sitting in my ShipStation account since I created the account because I added it and then realized I wasn't supposed to do that because it's going to go through Canada Post. Anyway, I've had this $25 sitting there and this package costs $17.50. I've got enough to cover it, but when I click to purchase the label, it says insufficient funds. It's roadblock after roadblock trying to purchase labels today. Like, what am I supposed to do? Do I have to cancel all these orders? I'm stuck in support chat purgatory. I just cranked the volume on this computer and I'm gonna go over to my painting. I think the person I'm chatting with died. They asked for screenshots and I sent them and then I didn't hear anything for 15 minutes. I was like, are you still there? And I again have not heard anything. What a mess. Okay. I'm mixing colors together to make like a background color. An underpainting of sorts, but just like a flat wash, not, like I'm not going to be doing any details yet. And I want it to be a reddish orange color. So I'm not sure how pigmented one is versus the other. So I'm just going to get started. I'm using this container instead of these laundry cups because this brush is a bit too wide for the laundry cup. Like, it can kind of fit if you shimmy it a bit, but I'm just going to use this. It's perfect for this kind of thing, so I don't care if I mess it up. That looks kind of cool. Also, about all like the shipping and tariff stuff, I feel like whenever I bring up shipping issues, there's always a comment being like, you complain too much. Sorry, I try to show the realities of running a small business, especially in frustrating times. Okay, I'm going to water this down a bit, so maybe don't add too much yet. I mean, I'll probably need a lot more yellow. I just wanted to see. Because usually you want more of the lighter color when you're mixing something. Although I do want this to be more on the reddish side. Okay, that's basically what I want. It's mostly reddish, but I'm also going to add just a tiny bit of blue. Maybe I should have added a tiny bit less blue. I mean, it's not all mixed in yet. There we go. I just wanted it slightly rusty. Not overly vibrant. Okay, I don't know if I've thinned this enough. Let's give it a little try. Maybe a little more water. This is gonna be drippy. Oh yeah, that's the consistency I was picturing. Okay. The drop cloth is doing its job. By drop cloth, I mean paper towel on the floor. I've never painted anything this big before. This is such an adventure. I have so much of this left. I was thinking of the amount I used for the gesso just for like a single coat, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of this. But I think because it's so thin, a little goes a long way, and I used not even half of what I had in there. So I mixed way too much. But, you know, that's fine. I can still use that color. I can either use it as is, or I can try to let some of the water evaporate to thicken it up a bit. I got options. Oh, I got a response. They did finally get back to me, by the way, after me waiting an hour for a response. They said, have you tried using incognito mode? So I gave it a try. It did not work. Okay, this jar was really the only thing I could find. It's not wide enough for the big brush to fit in there, but I could use smaller paint brushes. So here goes nothing. Ah, watch out, Kiki. Need a rubber spatula. Okay. Hello, baby. What are you doing? And this way my paint will not dry out because that is acrylic. And then for what's left in here, I really should just get a little rubber spatula that I use for painting. Don't really want to steal one of the kitchen ones at the moment, so I'll just put this on the canvas. I'll use my brush and just add it to what's already there. Okay, it's a few days later now, and I need to end off this vlog. I'm really disappointed I did not get to actual painting on this, but because of the whole shipping fiasco, I've spent days trying to fix things, and I still can't buy the UPS labels in ShipStation, but I'm managing to buy them through a different third party. It took a lot of work. I'll save you all the details, but I've put a lot of time into this, and finally, I have somewhere that's actually working for me. I was able to purchase UPS labels for the remaining shipments. Some people's did go out chit-chats, but there was a bunch of problems with that too. I'm not going to get into it here. It's going to make the vlog too long. Maybe I'll talk about it in a live stream or something, or in a future vlog. But long story short, chit-chats is trying to charge the Chinese tariff on all the products, even if they're made in Canada. And no, I'm not paying that. So we're not doing that. Their recommendation was that I split my orders into two. All the made in Canada stuff ships, and then all the made in China stuff ships. And I'm like, no. I can't go into all the details. It's too much, and probably no one really cares. I love a good rant personally, but maybe it's too technical and boring for most people. I don't know. I am ending the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll get to actually painting in the next one. I just need to try to forget the stress and get to my painting. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.